Salute, salute, salute. Bow. What it is, what's happening, what it do, man. It's Nocturnal Thoughts, real quick video, then I'm gonna get out y'all way. So continuing where I left off, I wanted to talk about, the advantages and disadvantages when you analyze the upcoming fight between Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin. How in the fuck can Frank Martin conquer, defeat, and be victorious against Shakur Stevenson? We all know that boxing is a game of inches, and it's a thinking man's game. A high ring IQ. You have to be thinking, and you have to stay a step ahead, 2 steps ahead of your opponent. We know that Shakur Stevenson is what you would almost consider a master. I don't want to say he's a master yet because he's still young and I haven't seen him face every single style and every single, opponent or boss level opponent. Like I've seen him work his way up levels, but I haven't seen him face every single style. That'd be, in hindsight, was his career is towards the end. Right now, he's still in somewhat the beginning stages of his career, but you've still seen a body of work that lets you know that defensively, he's magnificent. And measuring his opponent, establishing the range, and calculating every move, we've seen him hone in and really, master that style, that ability. So how in the fuck can Frank Martin use his weaknesses as strengths in this game of inches, in this thinking man's game, when you have a disadvantage with the less experience, with what some people might consider a lower IQ in the square circle? There's only so much that you can make up with it athletically, and you won't be able to learn on the job with Shakur Stevenson and then still be victorious. You will have to have all of your abilities be at the forefront. You're going to have all of your tools sharp, well-oiled, conditioned. I can see one way of Frank Martin because he has great footwork and he's a great athlete. And being a southpaw, I have seen Shakur Stevenson, not to say a flaw, but I have seen him get caught with the straight right from Oscar Valdez a couple of times. That made me see if Shakur Stevenson starts to think too much, he can overthink. And I've seen Shakur Stevenson get caught with a punch that might have hurt him and gave him a little bit too much of a defensive mind frame where he didn't want to engage with Jeremiah Nakatilia. Now, those fights are in the past. He has developed from those fights and he probably learned and improved and buttoned up any kind of, openings he's closed. If anything's, developed, he's strengthened more than he's weakened. Right now, he's approaching his prime, So with Frank Martin, no one has the blueprint on beating Shakur Stevenson, and no one necessarily has the blueprint on beating Frank Martin, right? Frank Martin, I've seen him apply pressure, working on different angles, working behind his jab, and then picking his shots and hitting and attacking the body. But usually what I see from Frank Martin is a little bit more methodical, a little bit more where you can see him, you can see the wheels turning, and you can see sometimes deficiencies in his defense, just little small flaws, nothing big, but just little small flaws that he can also improve. Like you zig when you should have zag, and you bob when you should have been weaving. I've seen him, roll into the punch instead of slipping the punch, because I could see that he's thinking this, I'm gonna throw this punch, then he's gonna follow with this punch and I'm gonna slip it. But just the timing would be a little off, and then he's open and he'll throw a punch and he'll still be right there in the pocket, and his guards would be down just enough for his opponent to slip in a clean shot. Shakur Stevenson is the type of fighter that probes you for your weaknesses and takes full advantage of them. So this is going to be a very tough fight, and it's going to be a chess match, but Shakur Stevenson likes to slow the pace down and put a lot of mental pressure on you and exhaust you mentally. Frank Martin has to turn this into more of a high-paced chess match. Like Samuel L. Jackson said in Fresh, you put his ass on a clock, I chew him up. So he has to fight at a pace that Shakur Stevenson mentally fatigues faster than he normally would. But at the same time, it has to be a pace that you can maintain and even go to another level once Shakur makes the adjustments. So it's going to be a fight that's going to be constantly, it should have a lot of ebbs and flows based on the styles and the way they are somewhat, I don't want to say 50-50. I just want to say they mirror each other in certain ways, both being southpaw, both being athletically gifted, and both having a great boxing IQ. Those are my thoughts on part 2. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments below. It's Nocturnal. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Leave me a comment so we can talk about some boxing. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. I'm gone. Salute, salute, salute.